real estate agents, your content isn't bringing in new clients for you because you're just posting what everybody else is posting. No reason why, no strategy, just posting. Spoiler alert, in this video, I'm going to give you the 5 types of videos that you should be consistently creating as a real estate agent that will grow your brand, create visibility, but more importantly than that, it will start to bring in leads for you. So if you just come across this channel, I'm Rashad Harris, and I'm a content strategist that works with real estate agents as well as service-based entrepreneurs, and I've been working with them for the last 10 years or so, while also generating millions of views across multiple platforms. And as I'm stepping into my 40s, I'm on this platform teaching real estate agents as well as service-based entrepreneurs how to use content and strategy to grow their business, but more importantly than that, live life on their own terms. But let's go ahead and get into the 5 videos that all real estate agents should be creating today. First one, origin story video. If you're an agent and you want to start showing up online, the first place you should start at is telling your story.
I realized that I had to do something bigger, something that will not only change my family's future, but leave a legacy for generations to come.
And before I make any posts, I like to think of what is the intention behind this particular video, or what do I want this video to do for me, right? And so for origin story videos, the whole intention of that is for your audience as well as just people who come across you on social media to know more about you and to start to lock in on your journey as you are building out a real estate company, as you're getting leads, as you're doing closings, as you're doing all the real estate things. And the reason why I'm also big on knowing why, and that is because you as an agent, right? You're probably thinking like, as soon as I hop on social media, that everybody's gonna be checking for me. And to be quite honest, that's just not the truth. Maybe your friends and your family is going to be checking for you, but maybe after a while, you're just going to be like everybody else. So the only way to avoid being like everybody else is to tell your story and to tell it in a way that people can actually connect to you. And if you don't believe me, there's a reason why in all the Marvel movies, like all of them, like really all of them, the first introduction to every character goes back and tells their origin story. Like, let's think of one. Iron Man, because since he started off, let's talk about Iron Man. Iron Man was a billionaire who got kidnapped into a cave and learned how to make his Iron Man suit, right? Peter Parker got bit by a radioactive spider that gave him these powers. He saw his Uncle Ben get killed or get unalived, and that made him realize that he needs to use his powers for good. Let's take it off Marvel for a second. One of the stories that we all know is Batman. Batman was a kid and see his parents become unalive, so that made him want to protect the city that he's in, protect Gotham City, right? We know all these stories because they tell you these stories over and over and over. And with these stories, it allows you to connect to the individual or the character, right? And the reason that you want to connect to that individual or their character is because once you know somebody's motivation, once you know somebody's backstory, it allows you to root for them because you know at the foundation of what they're doing, why are they doing this for? What is their reason behind doing the things that they do? And so even though you might not be a superhero, you might not be able to move like a spider, you may not be able to create Iron Man suits, or you may not be, the Cape Crusader. You still have a story, and you still need people to connect to your story so you can actually be successful in your career. So let's break down all the things that you actually need in your origin story video, right? And during this section, I'm going to show you one of the videos that I actually did for a real estate agent that was probably the most perfect one I've ever done. And I'm going to break down parts of her video as we go through the parts of this video that you actually need for yours. So the first part is you need to hook people. You need to hook people into your story from frame 1, the first second of the video. And the way I suggest doing this is say a phrase that describes the lowest point of your life or your journey as it relates to what it is that you do. Some examples of this would be, last year was the toughest year of my life. Or something like, I almost gave up on all of my dreams. Or another one is, being in real estate is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And when you do it, you want to sell it. You want to sell it so people can actually connect to it emotionally. This is what we use for Desiree's video.
You know, my journey into real estate wasn't exactly planned. It was kind of a natural evolution.
See, that's powerful. But after that, directly after that, you want to kind of give a quick montage of your life up to this point so people can relate to that as well. And so the way that I normally do that is that we include old pictures, old videos, so people can actually understand who you are just by looking at who you used to be. And these photos and videos can be just things that you have on your phone that you might have just captured, throughout the years. So you ain't got to make it super, cinematic or super special, but just the regular phone photos and videos that you have on your phone, use those. The next part that I like to include is letting people know what you were actually doing before real estate. And then also what got you into real estate. That just adds to the backstory.
A friend of mine convinced me to get my real estate license, but working for a big bank at the time, I wasn't able to do so. I worked in mortgages. I was processing loan applications, and later I began to underwrite loans. And the more I saw what the realtors were making, the more intrigued I became.
So if you were a teacher before, if you worked in a call center before, tell people like, hey, before real estate, I worked in a call center. I hated every moment of it. And I just knew that in my life, there had to be more. And so one of my friends was a real estate agent, and she said, you would do great in this field. So I decided to go after it. That's all you have to do. That was probably 2 lines, maybe 15 seconds. But it gives the backstory of this is where you were at, and now this is where you're looking to go. So that's why that is super important. The next part of the origin story is further explaining the down moment of your journey. Just go into it a little bit deeper. And like I said, this doesn't have to be long at all. Maybe one to 3 sentences that really describes what is it that you were actually going through in that moment. This is what we did to actually describe my client Desiree's down moment.
Real estate is hard. It's ghetto. Nobody really talks about the struggles, the doubts, the imposter syndrome.
Pro tip, if you have photos and videos of you doing that particular season of your life, make sure you include those, because those will accurately tell the story of what your life was like. Need to get a little swig of my premium protein. The last part of this origin story is where we get things on the upswing. So for this section of it, you're going to talk about where you're at right now, and more importantly, what is your mission now in real estate. This is important because it shows you getting out of that slump. People want to root for you. People don't want to root for Eeyore because he's always in the down place. But you got to be like, hey, now that I'm out of that dark space, this is what I'm doing differently. And this is how I want to help you guys. So you got to have a mission. First and foremost, you have to have a mission. So have that mission, talk about what that mission is, and then show yourself a positive, upbeat space. So wear something bright, wear something that fits you. Make sure you show them teeth. Make sure you smile, because people want to work with people who have a story, who've been through something, but now they're on the other side of that and they're ready to strive and thrive and work for you. So make sure you include all of that in your origin story video. Quick tips. I have my notes right here that I keep looking off to, but quick tips. The video should be between 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes. Like I said before, if you're getting somebody to shoot this video for you, which I'm not mad at all, you don't have to shoot this by yourself. So if you have a videographer or content creator who can shoot this for you, get different outfits, get different locations, get different scenes. But like I said before, also include those phone photos and videos that you can actually include into the story as well. And lastly, probably the most important thing. You have to be authentic. Most people struggle with being authentic, but at the same time, you can't want people to connect with your journey if you're not being true and honest with yourself. So make sure you tell your story. Make sure you're doing it in the right way. Make sure you're being yourself. And if you do all those things, then you will have people in your DMs saying, hey, I love your story. I connected with it. I saw myself in your journey. Because that is what you need. So if you get that, then you're on the right path. So let's get into the next one. So the next thing you need is a follower ad. You might be asking yourself, what is a follower ad? And a follower ad is just a short video where you're speaking to a specific audience and addressing their specific needs or pain points. Hey, real estate agents, if you're struggling to get new leads or get in front of new eyes, these are the three types of content that you should be posting today. And at the end, you're doing a call to action saying, hey, if you need more help on addressing these issues, then make sure you follow me. And the reason why you want to do this is because your people need to know that you exist. So with the algorithm on social media, and I'm more so specifically talking about Instagram, you're only going to reach 10% of your following, right? Which are usually your close friends, family, people that you've known for a long time, right? But the only way to reach people, your people that are outside of your bubble, is that you got to spend a couple dollars. You have to spend a couple dollars to actually be able to reach the people that you want to talk to. And in this video, you're not going to say, hey, follow me if you need a real estate agent. No. You're not going to do that. You're going to say, hey, these are some of the issues that you're struggling with, and I have a solution to help you fix those problems. In real estate, it might be people are having issues with not believing that they can buy a home. It might be buying the home of their dreams. It might be their credit's messed up and they need some help. So whatever their issues are and whatever the issue is that you know that you can solve, that is what you need to make your content about. But let's get to the ad. Like I said, the intention is for you to actually get in front of your audience week in and week out, so you can actually start to create leads. So for you to actually do this, you need a target audience. You need to know who are the people that you directly talk to. I'm going to do a separate video about this, but the basis of your target audience is, are they men? Are they women? What do they do? And what are some of their interests? If you know that, then you can actually do this follow ad. And so, like I said, what you actually need for this video is to address a pain point, show people who you are, how you plan on solving their problems, and most importantly, add a call to action so they can actually follow your Instagram page. Then once you do that, you're going to go back into Instagram and you're going to boost the video. So I feel like sooner or later, I'm going to do another video on the things that you actually need for a follower ad. But I'm going to just run through my very quick cheat sheet so you can kind of figure out, so you have the basis of what it is that you need. So, and I'm looking off my list one more time. So for the ad, don't do it on the phone. You want to do it from your desktop computer, right? Or your laptop. The reason is because if you do it on the phone, then Apple charges a 30% fee, and you don't want no parts of that. For the interest, put in your target audience. And like I said, if you're not sure exactly what your target audience is, then you can easily go into Chatgpt and use this prompt. Hey Chat, I am a real estate agent based in whatever city that you are, and I am looking to work with young home buyers ranging in the ages of 27 to 45. Let's just say that. And most of my audience is single Black women. What are some of their interests? I'm creating a follower ad in Instagram. So can you give me 10 interests that I can actually include in my boosted content? And that's all you got to do. Put that into chat, and then it should give you a list of 10 or so interests that you can actually just copy and paste right into Instagram for your ad. Like I said, you either want to choose between men or women. You want it to be very specific. So don't choose both. If your audience is women, if 70% of your audience is women, then choose women. If 70% of your audience is men, then choose men. It's pretty simple. And then to start it out, the amount of money that I would normally suggest is you want to do it between a $15 to $20 per day to test it out. So put that in there and see what happens for you. And then I normally will test the ad for about 3 days, run it for 3 days to kind of see what the momentum is looking like for you. And then as far as location, make sure you use the cities around you that you normally service. So do these things, run that follow ad, and then it should definitely bring in more eyes and more followers to your page that you can now service and speak to on a regular basis. The next is documentary style content.
Oh, they did a lot. We literally just closed 2 days ago. She wants to open concept, which everybody does. So of course we're gonna get rid of that old wallpaper that's over there.
The reason you want to do documentary style videos because you want to be able to show up consistently online without the need or without the thoughts of you have to create content. You really just want to live the content that you're actually creating. And so with my intention behind always telling my clients that they should actually do this style of video is because you want people to, once people become attached to you as well as your journey, you want to take them along the ride of what your journey and what your life actually looks like. So all you have to do is really just set up your camera, put it on the tripod, or if you have a videographer following, just have them kind of just document the things that you're doing day in and day out as a real estate agent. So the things that you want to show are you working with clients, you having closings, you going on listing appointments, you going to open houses, you checking out flips, just going to networking events, pretty much anything that you actually do as a real estate agent, you want to make sure that you're actually documenting these things. And when it's time for you to actually put together those videos, these don't have to be long videos. These can be quick 30-second videos to kind of showcase what is it that you're actually doing on a day in and day out basis. And so if you're getting value from this video so far, please hit subscribe. We're going to be talking about this type of stuff week in and week out. So make sure you hit subscribe and make sure you follow along on this journey. The fourth thing, let's talk about testimonials. If you follow me, I've always said that testimonials are like the golden tickets when it comes to running a business.
One thing I can say about you, Rashad, is like it doesn't feel like it, but you really listen to me when I talk because you bring me back content and ideas that sound so much like me.
The reason why is because sometimes you need other people to vouch for you before those people will say, hey, I want to work with this person. And testimonials do that each and every time. And like I said, the intention behind it is very simple. It shows people why they should want to work with you because their friend or somebody else had already said that you're a joy to work with. So what you want to include in these testimonials, or what you want to ask, better yet, what do you want to ask your clients when you're doing a testimonial? There's a couple of questions. First, you want to make sure that they include your name. So some people will say, yeah, she was a joy to work with. He was great to work with. But you actually want them to say that, hey, working with James was awesome. Working with Desiree was the best thing in my life. Working with Chantel was easily the best decision I've ever made. So you want them to actually say your name in the video, right? Next is you want to ask them what they actually enjoyed with working with you. That's a simple question. They're going to say something like, hey, Desiree was a joy to work with. I loved her personality. We clicked so well, and I couldn't have done this with anybody else. You want to kind of get those sound bites. Next, you want to ask them, like, what were some of the obstacles they had to overcome? The reason you want to do this is because it paints you as a problem solver and just not your regular real estate agent. So show that you are the person that actually fixes problems. And lastly, you also want them to say why other people should want to work with you. This is where the vouching comes in at. So they're going to say like, hey, you guys, you should work with Desiree because she is awesome. She's a great person and you're going to love to work with her. And she's going to make sure that you get the house of your dreams.
Desiree, I give her props. She will fight foot to nail for her people, for her clients. And I would use her over and over again.
That's going to get people to sign up right there. And you also want to make sure that you do this during your closing. While energy is high, while people are pumped up about their life is about to be changed, bust out your phone and say, hey, I got some questions I want to ask you. And then run that testimonial video for as long as you need to, and it's going to bring you new clients. The last video, the fifth video that I want to talk about is something that you probably didn't expect me to say, but that is you have to have a couple of trendy videos.
How do you have time for everything? How do you balance it all?
I don't. I'm very tired all the time.
You want to know why, right? Let's talk about the why. The reason you want to have some trendy videos is because trendy videos will bring more eyes on what it is that you do. Point blank period. That's the only reason you should do it, to bring more eyes. And so you might be asking, what are trendy videos? Trendy videos are when you scroll on Instagram and you look through and people are doing the same style of videos, even if it's a dance, if it's they're using a specific song, there's usually the same type of video that a lot of people are doing. Those are trending videos. And trends usually last for, let's say, 2 weeks. So if you find one that you like, that one that you can actually remix, that's the key. You want to remix those videos so it fits your audience and what is it that you do. So once you find one that you like, go ahead and do it and put it out. The reason I always say this, not only does it get you in front of new viewers, but you're riding the wave of that trend. And like I said, it's going to get you in front of new people who are just following the trend, who might be like, oh, I like the way they kind of remix that video. And now they're going to start to follow you. So do the trends, do the trends, do the trends. One thing I forgot to mention with trends, right? This is very important. With trend videos, you don't want to do them all the time. You want to do maybe 1 or 2 a week max. The reason is, if your page is filled with trendy videos, then people are not going to look at you as a serious professional. They're going to look at you as an influencer who just does trendy videos. So they have their intention. They have their reason why you do it, right? Because it brings in new eyes to you. But once those people get on your page, you want to hit them with your documentary style footage. You want to do talking head footage. You want to do any type of content that you could think of that shows people that you are a professional and you are good at what you do. But you just doing trendy videos for 5 to 7 days straight is not going to get that done. They're going to think that you're an influencer and they're not going to want to spend money with you, or they're not going to want you to actually be their real estate agent. And that is the whole purpose of all of this. So if you got through this whole video and you saying to yourself, all of this sounds good, but I feel like I still need some help trying to figure this out for myself. Well, that is what I do. I offer done-for-you services as well as one-on-one coaching. So you can go to the link in the description and just set up a free call with me, and then we can kind of talk about what are your needs and how I could possibly help you out. And lastly, I just want to let you know that random posts do not build a business. Having clarity does. And if you're ready to build your business with clarity as well as content that actually converts, then you're in the right place. But make sure you come back next week, because I'll actually be breaking down the list of equipment that you actually need as a content creator who wants to actually do this on your own. I'll give you a list of all the equipment that you actually need to produce high profile content. So that's the end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some things out of this masterclass. Make sure you save this to your list of videos that you actually come back to, because I feel like you're going to need this and you want to have this readily available for you. So once again, I'm Rashad, and I'm here to help you transform your life and your business.